Hello and welcome to Tuesday. It's 11:42 right now, and we are out shopping. So I need to pick up a few things. I think I briefly mentioned that my brother is hosting a what do you call it? A Cinco de Mayo party. So I picked up just various bits and bobs that we need for the party. I'll need to pick up a few more things. So I just wanted to hit up this store because that's a bit out of the way because I looked online and I'm trying to find like good tortillas, and I'm not finding good tortillas. I'm finding like Mission brand. Well, those are okay. It's just like I want the good stuff. So I'm like out here at the at a store that's further out that caters to a more Mexican palate, and I'm like, ooh, they've got some fun, good stuff here. And while they do have most of the stuff that I see at my regular grocery store, there's a lot of stuff that's more interesting. So I picked up again a few bits and bobs. We'll head to the one that's closer by me, and then get what else we need. And I think we should be good for the rest of the week. Hopefully, that's everything. Other than like chicken and like beef or whatever, just like the stuff that's a bit harder to find is what I'm getting out here, and stuff that will last a couple days. We'll decide like what's actually being cooked, but we're getting the major stuff out of the way, so that's about it. Catch you guys back at the house or at the other grocery store. Okay, back at home. Today went pretty well. Like I said, we got some shopping done. We didn't find everything we needed at the first store, so we went to the second store, got pretty much everything else. The only things that I didn't really pick up today would be like the chicken and beef and what have you that we need for well, tacos, burritos. I guess not really burritos, but quesadillas, whatever. Either way, we just didn't pick any of that up today. We'll get that sometime during the rest of the week because it shouldn't be too hard to pick that up. We bought so much cheese today. Oh my god. The second store I went to was having a sale. Normally it's a pound of cheese. It's they sell them in like half-pound blocks. And today they were selling them at a rate of $2 for no, 2 blocks for $4 as opposed to 2 blocks for $5. So the dollar off all this week. So I'm like, okay, we got to take advantage of this. So I bought like 3 pounds, 2 blocks of pepper jack, 2 blocks of cheddar, 2 blocks of Monterey Jack. So we're all set there. We also picked up some Oaxaca at the first store and Cotija at the second store. So we got a bunch of good stuff. Today, however, we kind of ended up in an interesting place. So I ended up working on a project for something that's happening tomorrow, which you'll be told about in the near future. The other thing that I want to mention is that I was hanging out with some friends tonight, and while I initially turned them onto this little app back in like October, November, maybe September or something, I didn't like join them in using it. So this app is called Habitica, previously known as Habit RPG. I picked it up back in August 2015. I believe the day was August 4th, 2015, because that's when my account was created. I started using it for like 3 or 4 days and like just set it down. It's basically a way to just like quote unquote form healthy habits. It's like a little task system, like like a to-do list, but you're building. The whole gimmick is that you're building good habits all while playing this, and it's like an RPG style game where you're the RPG character. That's why it was originally called Habit RPG. So I told my friends about this, and they like latched onto it immediately, and they're like, okay, cool, we gotta just start playing this because like while it's good for good for getting stuff done, it's like, oh, that little dopamine reward, that little boost of like, oh, I'm getting this active, like I'm doing it, like my little character is progressing because I'm actively doing stuff in the real world. And that little like dopamine hit is enough for them to just like keep improving themselves. I'm like I was in a call with a few of them, and it's just like yeah, let's, like, they're like, hey, do you have this? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I was the one who, like, actually turned you guys onto this. And they're like, why don't you join us? I'm like, fine. So I make my account. Well, like, I reuse my old account, and it's just weird seeing, like, something that I made 9 years ago, and, like, logging into them, be like, oh, yeah, I didn't get far with this, nothing has changed, so it's interesting. But hey, we're here back, trying to improve, and I guess, like, that's kind of something that I was like, okay, you know what, it's gonna be May, so let's try and, like, pick up some old stuff that we initially fall off the wagon with. The year is a third of the way over, which is wild to think about. I always feel like the year goes by slowly, but when you think back on it, like, things just have flown by, you know. Last month I was in Florida for a little bit. So much has happened. Like, March was just a blur. This month's kind of slowed down, but, you know, I mean, there's just so much going on. But I really want to, like, start picking up things where, like, things should be relatively, like, stable for now. And we're going to try and figure out how we can get things back on track, right? That's the idea. So we'll go from there. Like, I feel like this might be a good way to just motivate me. Having people hold me accountable, like, you can form party systems in Habitica, and from there, it's just like, hey, you're kind of bringing the party down. It's like, you gotta step it up. And you're like, okay, how can I do this? Gotta do some real world actions. And for me personally, it's just like simple reminders. Like, one of the things I heavily debated was just like, record and edit this, and I feel like that doesn't really count. If it, like, down the line it might, but it's just like something that I actively do every day. It's like, you know, while maybe they have something simple, it's just like, oh, just take a shower every day, you know, brush your teeth or whatever. For me, I think the most simplest thing I have is just take my vitamins, because that's the only thing that I quote unquote forget to do. So it's just, and I have a task management system. I think it's just like Google's Task or whatever, that I just, like, normally, like, oh, took my vitamins, do whatever. But, like, sometimes if the day gets busy, it's just immediately I need to go. You know, I skip it and then I come back a couple hours later. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do this. So I feel like, you know, trivial stuff like that might be good. Other things that I have at more normal tasks, just like exercise or whatever. So it's like, okay, if I can manage to get this done and, like, actively set aside time, and, like, you know, sometimes just, like, exercise is the big one. Like, I could schedule it to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll get stuff done, right? Like, it'll work out. So hopefully this will be a new way to get things done for me. Having people hold me accountable is a very nice thing. So, you know, while I normally, it's just like, in my task, just make your bed, and it's like, you know, it takes 2 minutes tops. It's very, like, you know, it's just like, you know, kind of thing. So hopefully, always be improving, but you know how it goes. Anyway, I think that's what I'm gonna call it for today. Had some fun today with shopping, and probably gonna go out sometime during this week and pick up a few more odds and ends. So, looking forward to that. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, later.